What would you do if you got bit by the Lone Star tick and became allergic to red meat, also known as the alpha-gal syndrome? That's a question my editor asked me a while back, and it made me think. And just some background information, galactose alpha-1,3-galactose, also known as alpha-gal, is a sugar molecule that's found in most mammals. And when you consume mammalian meat, your body metabolizes that, and it's not a problem whatsoever. But when you get bit by a Lone Star tick, and you contract that alpha-gal, meaning it ends up in your bloodstream, where it's normally never, then your immune system responds and it identifies that alpha-gal as a foreign invader and it starts attacking it. And it might remember then that anytime it comes across that alpha-gal, it needs to attack it. And unfortunately, in some cases, that then also happens when you, after being exposed to that or being bit by that Lone Star tick, that when you consume mammalian meat and your immune system detects that alpha-gal in your digestive system, it starts attacking. And that's when problems arise. And so that's the background story. Now, here is my take on it. I strongly believe that if you have a well-functioning immune system, meaning one that doesn't under-respond or over-respond to certain invaders, you're less likely to end up with issues, even if you get exposed to alpha-gal. Now, that's a theory. I don't know that's true for certain. But I like to think that if your immune system is working well, you're less likely to have any issues. If your immune system is already over-responsive because you're dealing with chronic inflammation, I think you're much more likely to get into issues if you get bit by a Lone Star tick. But beyond that, let's assume for the sake of argument, I end up with that syndrome and I cannot eat mammalian meat anymore, or red meat in particular. I think I would first try to different types of mammalian meat to see if I respond differently. Unless I respond in a way that's potentially life-threatening, then I would not do that, obviously. And if so, I would just stick to poultry. Well-raised chickens, well-raised ducks, well-raised geese, and seafood, and whatever other non-mammalian sources of protein I can get my hands on. I would certainly not turn into a vegan. That would literally be my last option. But I'd love to hear, what would you do? How would you respond if you couldn't eat red meat anymore and mammalian meat in general? Let me know in the comments.